Hello, my name is Troy Beans with 78freethrows.com. A friend of mine a couple weeks ago gave me a good book. Veronica Seitz gave me this book, and it's by Bob Beaudine, and the name of it is The Power of Who. So, since Veronica gave me this book, and she actually knows Bob, it's actually a signed copy of her book, and so I've been very, very careful with it. Very nice of her to loan this to me, but since she knows Bob, I guess that now puts me inside his who. Well, not really, but anyway, I have to read the book. You have to understand what that is. But in the back of this book, there's this fabulous story about Charlie, and I had to share. Such a good story. It's called A Moment with Charlie. My dad would often rave about a man he knew who operated a shoe shine stand at the train station in Philadelphia. Charlie was a stately black man revered by many for his words of wisdom and encouragement. So when it came time for me to make a trip back east, Dad excitedly said, "Bob, make sure you stop and get a shine from Charlie. Trust me on this, it isn't going to be your normal shoe shine." He smiled at me with that familiar twinkle in his eye and assured me it would be worth the effort. During the flight to Philly, I thought often about the mysterious shoe shine man named Charlie. Dad sure knew how to stir my sense of wonder. After my business in Philly was completed, I caught a taxi and headed to the train station. Still intrigued by my impending encounter, I pushed on the revolving door and walked into the enormous main lobby of the busy 30th Street train station. Immediately to my right, I noticed the unimposing shoe shine stand up against the wall. I'm not sure exactly what I expected to see, but there was no wow factor. Everything about this stand was ordinary and unassuming. Maybe I thought it would have lights that travel in motion like those big signs in Times Square. You know, something that makes it stand out, grab your attention, and pull you in like a tractor beam on Star Trek. But life often disguises the extraordinary in a plain wrapper. Charlie looked to be in his mid-70s, average height and weight, silver gray hair, thin on top, and a mustache. That's when I noticed the one thing that did seem out of the ordinary. There was a line of 8 or 9 people waiting for their turn in Charlie's chair. You might think with that many people wanting to do business, that old guy would hurry things along. But Charlie was in no hurry. He was the calm at the center of the storm. His motions were measured, not because he was old, but because he was graceful. Still, I couldn't help thinking this was going to take too long, and I was young and impatient with a world to conquer. There were just too many people in line. As I turned to leave, Charlie caught my eye. He smiled broadly and nodded slightly as if to say, "Don't leave." But I kept going. Back outside, I began looking for a decent restaurant. Halfway down the block, I noticed I was walking very slowly and feeling a slight tug pulling me back. The tractor beam had returned. I could hear my dad. "You mean to tell me you were right there but couldn't wait a few minutes?" Okay. Within a minute, I was back in line. The guy in front of me struck up a conversation. He asked me if I was one of Charlie's regulars. "No," I said matter-of-factly, "this is my first time." He told me that senators, mayors, dignitaries, CEOs, and celebrities came from all over to wait in this same line just to spend 3 minutes in Charlie's chair. I was excited when it was finally my turn. "Hello, young man, what's your name?" he asked as I settled in. His voice was calm and smooth like a pond with no ripples. "Bob," I replied quietly. "Mine's Charlie. I'm so honored you decided to stay." "Thank you." I smiled sheepishly like a schoolboy just caught doing something mischievous. "My, you have a nice smile," he said as he began working on my shoes. "Do you have any children?" "Yes," I said proudly. "I have 3 beautiful girls." "Oh, I knew it," he said and smiled brightly. "I bet your 3 girls are very special. Did I tell you, Bob, that children are a gift from God? And how important it is for you to condition them regularly, just like I'm doing to your shoes, by telling them how much you love them." A wave of peace and joy rushed in and swept over me. Suddenly I was engulfed in this world, and I was glad to be there. You see, Bob, he continued, your shoes, if you take care of them, will last you a long, long time, and will take care of your feet as you go on your journey. Watch how I put some conditioner on them and then shine them with these old hands of mine. When I'm done, they'll shine so bright, it'll make you smile every time you look down at them. Your family and friends are a lot like these shoes of yours, Bob. God has given them to you as gifts, and you need to keep them well conditioned. We need to be hands-on with love and care so they don't become worn out and begin to feel useless. He paused for a moment as if he was waiting for a thought to complete itself. Then he looked up at me and said with a smile, I can sense you take care of those around you. Another pause. But before you leave, my friend, I have a gift. A blessing I would like to give you. I know you'll like it as you go on your way this morning. May I? Of course, I answered quietly. All right then. It goes like this. Bob, may you have eyes to see the blessings and wonders right in front of you. May you have ears to hear the sounds of love coming from your family and friends. True friends are treasures, Bob. May you treasure the gifts you've been given, and may your eyes be open to the treasures you've been missing. One final thing, Bob. May you polish and condition each of your treasures and cause them to shine. Charlie's words hung in the air and suspended me in time. I didn't want my 3 minutes to end. But after exchanging goodbyes, I was suddenly out of the chair and on my way again. I left with the memory of a moment I would never forget. This was an extraordinary man who had friends all over the world, who went out of their way when traveling through Philadelphia just to spend a few minutes in Charlie's chair. Now, I understand why nobody minded waiting in his line. Before you get your turn in the chair, you get to witness the remarkable transformation in the ones who go before you. It's also very quiet in that line, as people lean in wanting to hear what Charlie is saying. Did I tell you that he doesn't charge anything? No mention is ever made about money. There's an old hat lying on the shoe shine stand where patrons put in whatever they want. And it's not uncommon for those who stop and listen to also make deposits in that crumpled old hat. My dad knew that my encounter with the old shoe shine guru would have a lasting effect on me, and he was right. Oh, what a difference one person with the gift of encouragement can make in the lives of those he encounters. For a few brief moments, I felt like I was in an episode of The Twilight Zone as I sat in Charlie's chair. He created a kind of parallel universe, an island in that stream of life that constantly flowed through 30th Street Station. Rod Serling would have been proud. All too soon, I was thrust back into the real world, but with a better perspective on life. It makes a difference when you show people you care. I know, because it makes a big difference to me when someone cares for me. Dad passed away a number of years ago, and Mom followed 6 years later. Our homes were only 3 blocks apart, and we enjoyed a wonderful, loving relationship. My mom would often call just to see how I was doing. I didn't know how much I enjoyed her checking up on me until there were no more calls. When you make the extra effort to celebrate, encourage, and help others, it establishes strong bonds of friendship. Each time you do it, it's an investment that is never wasted. There's a law that governs this principle of encouraging and giving, and it's called the law of reciprocity. Simply put, this law states that when you do something good for another person, it actually creates a desire in them to reciprocate. They want to do good back to you. When you do something extra for people, they never seem to forget it. And you will always try to find a way to balance the equation. What an amazing story. And here's Charlie. He's a shoe shine guy. You know, probably not a lot of us grow up saying that's what we want to do in life. Didn't matter to him. Number one, he was really good at it. But more importantly, he cared about people. Had an amazing ability to just transform somebody's life. in just a few minutes. That's just a reminder for me. Every day, no matter who I meet, where I meet them, I can have an impact, a positive impact on their lives. I'd love to know what you think of this. Love to hear your feedback. What are your thoughts about Charlie? I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you soon.